Right, we're back. We're going to be doing something different today. I'm going to be using this mirror mould. I'm not going to use this one. Use this one. It's from Resin. It's a partnership with Anahita at resinqueenshop. What I'll do is I'll pop a link to their Insta in the description. So I'm going to be using the Resin 1-1 today, equal parts of A and B. We're going to be using the high concentrated alcohol inks. I've already picked my colours out. I'll talk you through as I'm using them. So I've already got my resin mixed up. Fairly few bubbles, and we're just going to pour away. Now this kit comes with, I might have to do this in 2 mixes. Silly me, I didn't measure out the mould first. I just thought, nope, I'm just going to go in. But we need to fill it right up so that the mirror can fit in the back. So what I'll do, I think I might just do it. So I mixed up 60 grams in total, which is 30 grams of part A and 30 grams of part B. No, sorry, 120 grams. That's 60 grams of each. Just scoop out the rest. I'll go back to the mirrors in a second. I'll show you what comes in the pack. Just make sure we've got every drop out. And that was spot on the amount we need. Good guess. Just clean up my stick. So yeah, we're going to go back with the alcohol inks for this one and see what kind of effects we can get. You can see, if I take you down closer, you can just see you're going to have to get the bubbles out from in between the design. This might take a little while, so what I'm going to do is pause the video and then come back to you. Right, so we picked up most of the bubbles. Whilst they're still rising to the surface, I'll just take you back out and show you. Just get you straight. So you get a pack of mirrors. Remember how many are in there now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 mirrors. They come really well packaged, and I'm pretty sure you'd be able to find more online if you needed to, if you just measure them. And if not, I mean, I've got a local glass guy that can cut mirrors and glass to the correct size. Right, so now we've got most of the bubbles. I'm going to take you back down because we're going to start dropping some inks shortly. Just going to give it a quick blast. Make sure I've got enough gas actually first, because I forgot to fill it up. Yeah, there's enough in there. I put that in the right way? Nope. Come on. That's it. Right, so we're just going to give it a quick tap blast, just to get rid of those last surface bubbles. We don't like bubbles. Well, I don't. So that's that. So we're going to just start dropping. So in a few of my videos, especially the fire wisp video, I did show the white that I'm using, which comes in a set of 2. And I know there's been some issues in the UK with supply, but I believe they're back in stock. So these are the sinker whites. We use this to create the effect. Now what a lot of questions are is what I'm using in this bottle, and this is just this. So I've just funneled, the kit comes with funnels. I've just funneled the bigger bottles into this needle drop bottle. So we're just going to start shaking up our inks. So these are the inks that I'm going to be using. I might not use them all. So we've got a peach red, sapphire blue, purple, yellow and turquoise. And again, these are the high concentrated inks from Let's Resin. Just going to decap them all, ready to go. Oh, sorry, I've been a bit quiet lately. Got a wedding next month, so, and it was half term, so my little one was off, so we had days out. I've also had a custom order with some ashes for a friend. Right, so we're going to start dropping. So I'm going to go with the peach red first. And I think we're going to go for some yellow. Just randomly dropping. Go with some sapphire blue. Some turquoise. And now I'm just going to go in over with some of my whites. We'll see how it spreads and then come back with some more colour. Come back in with some more peach red. I'm going to tap that straight away with a white. You can already see there's some crazy colouring going on in there. I might get a little bit of muddying, but I'm really liking that blue at the moment with the peach red. So I don't think I want to add any more green really. I think we're going to go in with a bit more of the blue. I mean, this area that I'm doing at the moment, oh, that's squirted out wild. You won't really see it because the mirror is going to be there, but from the back you still get a nice pattern. Going with a bit more yellow. Just in the negative space. And then go straight over the top of that. Again with some white. I'm just going to see how that dances away and settles. Kind of want some more peach red in this. Again, back in the negative space that's left. You just push out the other colours. And then we're going to tap that with a bit more white. So I'm trying to pronounce my T's a little better because of the captions tend to change the word white to many other things, so I have to keep going in and editing my captions. Instead of saying white, I'm gonna have to edit that now. Instead of saying white, typical Essex boy Dan does the same with water. He says water. Right, so let's calm down a little bit. Oh. So we can see there's some really crazy cool effects. And we're going to come back and do the swirl as usual. But I think for now, There's a little bit of negative space, but what we can do is just add a little bit more white to try and push it into the negative space, instead of adding more colour and worrying that it's going to muddy. But I'm really concentrating on my T's now I've mentioned it. I bet you're all laughing your socks off. Right, so we're going to leave that and we're going to come back in around about 1 hour to add some swirls. So we'll see you soon. Alright, right, we're back for the swirl. It's been about an hour. I'll take you a bit further down. You can kind of see already there's some negative space, but see how the inks are doing what they should be doing and spreading out like almost like fur. So we've got some negative space. We're going to try and leave that alone so that we still keep these effects. We're just going to kind of disturb inwards and stir it around. I'll put all the links to the products. If you see down there, you've got a description arrow to the description. All my links to the products I use will be in there. And again, Resin Queen Shop link to her Insta. I'll pop that in the description as well. So thank you to those that have subbed. If you haven't, again, I'm not going to ask you loads. There's a little tab there. Just push on that and then you can sub to my channel. We're just going to stir away. Thank you to those who have sponsored or donated. Try not to get my hand in the way of the camera again. Last corner. And I think we're going to stick with just that. So I've basically just come in from each petal inwards to the middle. And now we're just going to let that cure for the demold. And then we're going to try and add some of the detailing. Somebody gave me a great idea on how to try that. So I've never done it before, so we'll give that a try once it's demolded. And then once that's done, we then come onto the stage of adding the mirror. And that will be that. Right, I'll see you soon. Right, we're back. I'm sitting in the garden this time, so there might be some noise from the neighbours. So let's get this demolded. I kind of already peeled around the edges just to loosen it up, but I've not taken it out. I love that sound. It's peeling away. Right, it's free. Let's have a look. See that really cool patterns on the back. A lot of reflection. Right, let's have a look. Wow. See those really cool. See, I like the negative space in this one. I think it really adds some character. Some really cool colouring. So I think I'm going to come back for the next part tomorrow, and we're going to work on the detailing and make that really stand out. Right, that's cool, isn't it? Shame we won't see that bit in the middle because the mirror is going to be there, but still cool. Right, see you in the next part. Right, we're back. The idea I initially had was using a piping bag, and I made a little bit of a mess. I've never done it before, so I'm going to try an alternative. I'm going to try one of these. So I'm going to pour what I did initially. I had to delete it and start again. So I had 2 drops of alcohol, yellow alcohol ink mixed in with some premixed resin, but when I poured it in you couldn't actually see it, it was too translucent. So I've added some Mica powder to it, just some green, just to try and make it stand out. I mean, I was going to keep it plain. I was thinking about it last night because I don't want to take too much away from the background and make all the focus on the leaf work, but this is for my partner, so I'm gonna do what she wants and add some colour to the actual detailing. So I'm just gonna pause the video and get this resin poured into this needle tip bottle and just see if this works. Right, so we're good to go. I know a lot of people would say, you know, you can add the detailing before you add the resin inside the mould, but I wanted to try a different way, so that it kind of brings it flush with the surface. So I'm just gonna, what I've done is I've pinched, I don't know if you can see, get the focus, I've pinched the end together to make it a little bit more narrower for what I want. So I'm just going to start with the leaves, and hopefully you'll kind of see what my aim was, and this shouldn't take away too much from the background. If you can see, it still adds a good shine to it, but whilst also keeping it fairly translucent for the background to show through. I mean, this is going to take me some time, but it should be worth it. What I'll do is I'll just do this one and then I'll finish the rest without you having to watch me, and I'll kind of let you know how long it took me. If I fill the larger spaces first, I can then use my sewing pin to kind of drag through the narrow areas. It's my first time ever doing anything like this. As you can see from my previous tutorials, I mainly stick with the same moulds. I think what we're going to do, add a bit more in the larger area, and like I said, just draw it through with a sewing needle. There's some in this space here. And just try and manipulate it through the little channels. Without it overspilling. Well, I know for next time that this is definitely a time consuming thing, and to add the detailing first, I think. But it's all a learning journey. Let's try and get some in there. See, someone in the group the other day also mentioned that you could use like a rubber squeegee, which I was gonna try. Let's just try drawing it in the channels with the actual needle tip. Yeah, that actually works better. So maybe it won't be as time consuming as I thought. get quite good control with this. So you can see it doesn't take away too much from the background. So what I'll do is I'll just finish off filling the other ones, probably take me 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to add the mirror. Right, so we're back with the last one. Only took about 10 minutes. It's pretty I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever used these needle tips for this before, but it's kind of like, for me, I'm definitely going to be using these a lot more for detailing work like this. It's actually really quick. Right, so as you can see, it doesn't take away too much at all from the background. Kind of actually complements the piece quite well. Right, so it's time for the mirror, and I'm gonna just use the same green resin that I've just used for that, because it was still adhere. So we get a mirror, give it a quick buff. So just a shout out and a thanks to Anna and Bradley, again at the Resin Queen shop. And a thanks to Let's Resin for all the support. I've buffed it up some, but I'll do the rest when it's all cured. Right, so with this I'm just going to use, as I say, because it's leftover resin, I'm just going to put a swirl of it round. And you can actually use these moulds as coasters, trinket trays. You know, if you do get the mould set and you run out of the mirrors, you can always just use them as coasters. So we're now just going to pop in the mirror and let that dry. Sorry, you got my ugly face in the mirror then. Right, so we're going to let that cure, come back for the final results. My focus is gone. It's focusing on me and the camera. Right, I'll see you guys soon. Here it is, all complete. I had a couple of little bubbles in the green. You can see one just there in the middle. Yeah, it's all done. I've put some protective coaster pads on the bottom, just in case, just to keep it a bit more protected. So, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that button. And I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.